So now, did you want to say anything
Yeah,
extra about that?
just the if you do have Sun, Moon, Ascendant, and Virgo, you're more likely to feel it very strongly. Or even in Pisces as well, you might feel it very strongly. Aries,
Yes.
gandanta also you might feel it very strongly, in my opinion. Libra also, just be more cautious in general. Those four signs definitely need to watch out for this eclipse for sure. That I would definitely say. Or of course, one more bit on that is that eclipse is happening in Chitra Nakshatra, as I mentioned, which is a surgery nakshatra as well. So just definitely watch out for surgery issues and all that. I just want to emphasize that again. Chitra is also linked with weapons actually. Vishwakarma like designed weapons actually. So if you do have a gun in your house and all that, definitely keep it protected and all that. We must emphasize that.
Yeah.
You do not know when the kids would play with it. Well,
And it's been
and
happening
all
so
that.
much. I mean,
Yeah,
it's so sad, to watch the news and see all the shootings every day in Indianapolis. It blows my mind. It was not like this before. It's like becoming Chicago.
yeah,
Um, and I
yeah.
think for this lunar eclipse, the firearms are really going to be an issue because it's in
Right,
Aries in Ashwini.
right.
So,
Yeah,
the UAW crisis will probably come to a close by then. But again, firearms are going to be a big focus point of this lunar eclipse. Um, and, for the United States, because we're Sagittarius ascendant, it's happening in the fifth house, and that's the house of politics. So things are going to get real heated up with these debates for sure. Sun is debilitated for this eclipse, which is huge. So our energy is going to be low, leaving us open to getting sick, right? Rahu is still gandanta, and Mars and Ketu are still conjunct, but they're far apart. So that's good, you know. But, Rahu and Ketu are getting ready to switch signs on November 28th. So I feel like this lunar eclipse kind of is the foreshadowing of all these things switching, you know?
yeah. Big thing
Uh,
in this lunar eclipse also is Mars is exactly aspiring Jupiter on that time. So if you are running Jupiter Dasha, just be more cautious. One of those things I would like to say. If
okay.
you are going through a Jupiter time period or whatnot. The other bit here is also that this lunar eclipse is happening in Aries as well. Aries and Libra axis is getting triggered very strongly. Lunar eclipse can make you feel very unsettled emotionally and all that. So just be more definitely watch out for that and all that. Again, I would not advise for you to be outside when the lunar eclipse is happening. Try to do mantras and all that if you feel really unsettled during this time period. Perfect time period to do all kinds of Shiva mantras, Ganesh mantras, Durga mantras, and all that. Right now, I cannot emphasize that enough. If you
Mm-hmm.
do the mantras during this time period, it's very powerful because Moon is with Jupiter in the whole eclipse. So even though you have a malefic Mars with Ketu and all that in this eclipse, Jupiter at least is helping this lunar eclipse out a little bit more actually because of its conjunction with Moon and all that. So at least that is something worthwhile of thinking about as well. Also.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what that
Yeah.
means that you have to do Jupiter rituals, make prayers, do the mantras and all that as is possible. That's what would save you during this time period also, in my opinion.
Yeah. And if you need any help, finding mantras or whatever, you can always, message us. I can always, direct you to a video or something that will get you started. And then, the strongest way to do a mantra is to, you know, don't use any media with it, right? You just do it yourself with your beads. But if it's difficult for you to do that, put on the video. Like if you are tempted to watch the eclipse, put on a video like those long 3 to 5 hour mantra videos of Shiva. That's what I like to do.
Yeah,
I put Shiva on the big
yeah,
screen and I just let him go, and I burn my incense. I do some mantras, try to just lay low. Um, I can't emphasize that enough because,
yeah,
it's it's not easy for people in the West to do their mantras. They don't really understand why, but
yeah,
if you understand that it's a sacred language that has sacred sounds, so it doesn't matter
yeah,
if you understand what you're saying exactly. It's the sound and how it affects all of the chakras, which are associated with the glands. So, you know, yeah.
Each sound also stimulates various parts of the brain, which also opens you to new ways of thinking and all that. There's also the other thing there also. But definitely, if you can do the simplest mantra, Om Namah Shivaya is very good. That's the simplest mantra I can encourage, Om Namah Shivaya. Or just doing Om. Om itself is a very powerful mantra if you're able to do it during eclipse and all that. I can encourage all that. Of course, as Katya said, you can play the mantra in the background also, worst case scenario. However, definitely you're going to see a lot of people doing eclipse viewing parties. I would not really encourage that at all. Try to avoid them if
have
you
a
can.
party with Kali, you know what I mean? Like, because what's happening between the 15th and the 24th of October is Navaratri, which is the 9 nights of the goddess Durga.
That's right,
So I've been doing a Kali mantra, which is Om Kleem Mahakali Kalye Namaha. And that one really helps me. Like if I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm scared or something, or I feel a lot of anxiety, I just do that in my mind. I don't even have to do it out loud. And it helps, you know. So connecting with Kali and Durga and Parvati and all the 9 aspects of Durga. This is there are tons of mantras associated with that. Those would be excellent to do for this time in between the 2 eclipses as well.
No, definitely. Those mantras are very good mantras. Kali mantras, Durga mantras are very, very powerful. Ganesh mantra is also very powerful during the eclipses. I would also add one more fierce form of Shiva called as Bhairava. Bhairava mantras were his favorite animal is a dog and all that is good. Now, usually eclipse is the time period when your cats and dogs go cuckoo as well. Just watch out for that. That you might see that kind of thing happening also. The dogs and cats might panic and they might sense the negative energies and all that very easily. Definitely chant some mantras for your dogs and cats also. I would encourage all that also.
Yeah. And look at poor little Venus over here all by herself. I don't know if you can call it Kimadruma, but like when the moon is isolated, it's called Kimadruma yoga. Moon doesn't like to be alone, and I don't think Venus likes to be alone either.
Kimadruma is usually for the moon. Our Venus here is in exchange with Sun, so it's also joining the party, to be frank. So it's one of those things happening also. So,
and it's opposite Saturn retrograde, you know.
So definitely Venus and Sun are in exchange. So eclipse is happening in the Rahu Ketu is in Aries and Libra axis. So of course, eclipse is time period when usually husband and wives have like a drama happening in the household and all that. They need not watch any drama on TV or Netflix or something. It's happening to your household actually. So they kind of need to watch over that. So you might see, as Katya emphasized, things are intensified and all that. It can get explosive also. Just watch out for that. Keep it easy. Try to maintain balance in the home becomes very important. Make sure you're meditating with frankincense or some good smoke and all that. I can encourage that. All the incense, essential oils and all that. What all that can help you out? Sandalwood, excellent for that.
And Sun and Venus are in Parivartana.
Exactly correct. Sun and Venus is very good. So usually eclipse is happening in Chitra Nakshatra, which can also be linked with jewelry actually. So some jewelry problems can be expected in my opinion. So just watch out for that as well.
So for those of you that are new, Parivartana means when 2 planets exchange signs. So Sun is in Venus's sign of Libra, and Venus is in Sun's sign of Leo. So it's called a Parivartana. So that's very strong. So definitely, the last bit of Ketu and Libra Venusian influence is going to be really felt strongly during this lunar eclipse. So definitely an emphasis upon women, but our vitality too, because Sun is debilitated. So that's just a few things about the lunar eclipse. I just feel like I'm excited for the nodes to change.
Right.
I really haven't liked this Aries Libra cycle very much.
Right. Aries Libra is a challenging cycle in general. One is in fire sign and other is in air sign and all that. Soon it'll go into water sign and earth sign when it changes the nodes. So that'll be slightly more easier in my view. Though Rahu in Aries is the reason for a lot of forest fire, wildfire, and all that. So it's gonna happen a little bit more.
Yeah.
But definitely the lunar eclipse will impact you emotionally. It's more going to impact the mind more than your actual life and all that more actually. So usually women do have to watch out because they do have a very active emotional being to them and all that. However, definitely I would advise during this lunar eclipse, definitely try to do more relaxing kind of activities, do something that you like doing that can bring you more emotionally, bring more calmness to your life and all that. Do those kind of things actually. Listen to some music, have some fun, but don't expose yourself to the eclipse also at the same time. If you can do that, I would encourage all that also. Yeah.
Yeah, and especially because Neptune retrograde, if, at least from DC, is in the second house of the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So any kind of drugs or alcohol you take during this time is probably going to be amplified. Like let's say
Right.
you usually have 1 or 2 glasses of wine with dinner. Well,
Yeah.
during this eclipse, that 1 or 2 glasses of wine is going to make you feel 10 times more drunk. So, or if you're taking a pharmaceutical drug, same thing. You could get some kind of a reaction to it or something.
In fact,
So be real careful.
There was a time when eclipse was visible here in Kerala where I'm at right now. I remember a time when the eclipse was over, I tried to eat some food that was exposed to the eclipse now. You could almost taste this like chemical kind of thing. Energetically, you could taste this chemical thing actually. It's not good actually. So they do recommend not to expose food outside and all that, especially if it's visible in that part of the world and all that. So try to keep the food indoors and all that in your fridge or something, or keep it covered kind of thing. Definitely the food that is kept outside the kitchen table itself is actually feeling that thing and all that. Some people also advise to keep it, use fresh kind of food when you're making food, new food and all that also, after the eclipse and all that also. That also would encourage.
Yeah. And, whenever I see like Neptune retrograde in the second or the sixth house, I always think, oh, I wonder if this person has a seafood allergy. And 9 times out of 10, they do, right? So like mercury poisoning,
right.
If you eat too much seafood, you can actually get a buildup of mercury in your body. So, just stuff like that. It's just weird health things are going to get triggered, I think, during this lunar eclipse. So just be careful. I think that's about it, right? Is there anything else you want to say?
Well, we talked a lot about what could happen and all that. Definitely, one last thing I would definitely like to say is that the eclipse is a very powerful spiritual opportunity. It is not the end of the world. Though there will be some challenges and all that, you can still get through it actually. So, as many wise people say, this too shall pass, right? So, things like that. Just be mindful of that. So, however, when changes are coming, be open to the changes also. It could be happening for good also. That's one more thing I would encourage also. You not be scared about it or be in fear about it. However, just get through it is what I would encourage actually. When the energies are coming, it's like a eclipse happening for multiple centuries actually. So it's been going on since a long time. So don't be in fear about it. Or at the same time, be prepared for it. If you're prepared for it, you are half good, similar that kind of thing actually. So that's one thing I would definitely encourage. And we are in for exciting changes actually. So I do believe that this eclipse, as Katya said, we'll be seeing big change and all that coming soon. Eclipse in Aries is a new beginning actually. Eclipse in Aries Libra axis is actually going to be a big beginning to this entire world also. We are going to see all that also soon.
Right. And with all these planets in Swati too, and Sun is debilitated there, but there are some really great qualities to the debilitated points. And Sun in Swati, this is Saturn's exaltation point, and that's because Saturn, gets better work done when he works with people in a Venusian sign. And in Swati, it's about, the swaying of the cypress tree, right? The bending, the ability to bend and be flexible to others' personalities. And
Yeah.
so that's a great way to think of getting through this lunar eclipse, is just to be adaptable, bend but don't break,
Right.
you know, uh, you know, work with others, but don't be spineless. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, those are some things that can kind of help you keep afloat emotionally as well. And then, Ashwini and Swati actually indicates learning challenges, because Ashwini, even though Sun is exalted there, it can indicate racing brain syndrome, which is a part of ADHD, right? And
Yeah.
Swati can be a bit of an airhead, kind of have their head up in the clouds kind of thing, thinking
Yeah.
about other things, right? So really focusing on centering your mind is going to be important during this lunar eclipse. So yeah, I think that's about it. And if you want to contact us for a reading, you can always go to my website, hindustanastrology.com, and then here's Santhip's email if you'd like a reading with him. And I just want to thank you for participating in this. And I hope this helps you over the next 6 months. Just stay focused, keep dreaming. We're going to have a big year next year with these elections and with all these things happening. So now the intensity kind of is gathering. So yeah, is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, hopefully we get to see again in 6 months time and all that. So this was a very interesting session actually. So we covered a lot of ground in today's session. So it'll be quite a fun time ahead actually. However, as I said before, definitely try to avoid the eclipse if you can. It's not especially visible in the US and so forth. Like I said, do your meditations, use it for your meditations, use it spiritually and all that. You have a very powerful spiritual opportunity right now to overcome a lot of forces right now. So that's something I would really, really encourage more than ever actually. And utilize these forces right now. You can overcome your own inner shadows. Powerful time period to do a lot of deep shadow work, and this is the time period to do it actually.
Yeah,
And
and
that's what I would
especially
really
before the
encourage
nodes
also.
change, I feel like when Rahu
Yeah.
goes into Pisces, it's going to be a spiritual revolution. We are going to see
Right.
people interested in alternative modes of healing,
Yeah.
alternative religions, alternatives, more what we would call new age stuff. A lot of old
Yeah.
age stuff too, religions, just people I think are tired of the craziness in the world. And so we're on this spiritual path, and it's all kind of beginning now. So I wish you all well. And until next time, thank you very much. Namaste.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Sure. Namaste.
Santhip. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Namaste.
Namaste.